Hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams YouTube channel. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here to give you an update on everything I have been working on in the past month. I've been doing these monthly updates instead of doing them like every three weeks or whatever. And I feel like this has been an easier setup or frequency for me, and I can plan that the last weekend of the month is a recording weekend, and I work better with schedules, I want to say. All right, so thank you so much for checking out my video. If you're a new and if you're a returning viewer, I hope you have a beverage of choice. I know it's not as cold anymore, at least in the northern hemisphere, so I have been drinking iced drinks already. Though today I think it's somewhere in the middle, like it might be a little chilly. I'm fine with my full sleeves shirt and I'm not wearing any knitting today, but let's talk all about what I have been working on, dreaming of, as this weather transitions into a bit of a warmer weather. I don't know why I decided to go with such a bright lip color this morning. It is what it is. I'm trying to get a bit, like I feel like just because I said lip color and now I have to go off on a tangent. I feel like bright colors suit me better, but I feel like they're a bit of a commitment. Like I feel too dressed up and I'm trying to get over that. But anyway, it's a red lipstick kind of day. All right. So first thing first, I am wearing my Archer shirt. This is a design or a pattern by Green Line Studio. I think I may have talked about this in my last episode. I can't remember too well. It's made out of 100% linen from Blackbird Fabrics. I really like this shirt. I did put some brown buttons on it, and I made a bunch of errors, which is why you can see one of the plackets stick out on the other side, but I don't really care. And yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. And I don't have a lot of sewing for this episode. I have one big project and I think that's sufficient for a month, I want to say. I have fuzz on my face already. I don't know how. I think I'm gonna ignore it. It may be fuzz, it may be cat hair. We will never know. I have one major sewing project and I have another sewing project in the works. So it's mostly going to be knitting and I think we should get started. So finished objects. I finished my friend's modern twist sweater. I do not have the sweater to show you because I have gifted it promptly to my friend. I will put a picture and a video of the sweater once I finished it. I knit it in ultra alpaca in the eider down color, worsted weight ultra alpaca, because I think they have a DK or a sport weight version as well. Hold on, I need to get this fuzz off my face. Right, I think I am sufficiently fuzzless. So let's keep going. Yeah, so I gifted it to her, and the sweater turned out really well. I had taken proper measurements, as in arm length and the length of the body and everything, so I didn't have to do too many try-ons. Like, she lives in Pittsburgh, but with work schedules and weekend plans and everything, it doesn't always work out that we're able to meet frequently. So I wanted to make sure I had all the measurements taken, so I did that. And then it looks really good on her, I must say. I will put a picture of she just sent me like a selfie she took in the mirror. And the sweater looks really good. Unfortunately, I finished it just as the season was ending, and because it's a turtleneck worsted weight sweater, I'm not sure that she will get any more wears this part of the season. But of course, once fall is here and maybe November, December, she'll be able to wear it quite a bit. I made the turtleneck version. The sweater does have a crew and a turtleneck option. And unfortunately, I originally had 4 skeins of yarn, and I literally needed 10 grams more to finish the turtleneck, and I had to order a 5th skein. So I am left with considerable amount of yarn, and I was feeling so happy that I was gonna finish the 4 skeins of yarn pretty much exactly. But as I was knitting the turtleneck, I was like, oh no, I think I need like 10 more grams. And so now I had to buy another ball of yarn, and then I have a bunch left over. So I'm wondering if I should just make her a hat or just leave it for Colorwork plans for myself in the future. But yeah, the sweater worked out wonderfully, and it's my second modern twist sweater, and you won't believe, but I am fully planning to make another because I saw somebody make a men's version and it looks really beautiful, and I saw it on Instagram, and I shared it also on my stories because I thought it was really beautiful, and it was nice to see it on a guy. And so I think I'm gonna make one for Baljeet because I think he likes the simple cables texture and like simple cables. Like I think he would really enjoy that. I would not make it again in ultra alpaca for him because I have plans for a cardigan in ultra alpaca. I think I want to make it in like a sheepy natural brown sheepy or like farm yarn or something like that. I have some brown worsted weight yarn, so I'm gonna swatch and see if later in the year if I can make him another modern twist. So if I didn't mention already, and I've been talking about modern twist since the beginning of this year because I made one for myself in January and then I knit the other one. So but anyway, it's a design by Heidi Kirrmaier. I'm not gonna say too much more. It's a beautiful design and you should check out everyone's versions on Ravelry because whoever has made that sweater, it looks wonderful on them. So that was my finished object for March, and I unfortunately don't have it to show you, but fortunately my friend loves the sweater. So that's that. That's the only finished object I have, and I have a bunch of works in progress, so we're going to talk about that. Sorry, I feel like my throat is being funny today. My other, I guess, I could have finished this vest, but I am working on a project right now for work that makes me like I need to travel to the steel plant every other week. So I've been doing a lot of traveling, and when I travel I can't take a big colorwork project with me because of the number of balls of yarn, and it's too much of a hassle. And so I have not finished this vest, but I'm very close. This is the test knit I have been doing for Gudrun Johnston, and it is so beautiful. I'll be honest, I'm obsessed with this. Like, I am obsessed. I love, finally, the colors that I've picked. It has all of my favorite colors, and I've been realizing that actually these colorwork vests get so much wear because you can do so many different outfit options with them. The vest I made before, the one I finished last time I talked about in February, was the woe vest. And I think I had an outfit figured out with like a maroon full sleeves t-shirt under there. And then recently I realized that I have an orange, very bright orange full sleeves t-shirt that I've never worn since I bought it, because I bought it when it looked like rust on the website. I purchased it, but it was very carrot orange. and I couldn't figure out how to wear it properly in my wardrobe. And it turns out that my vo vest goes perfectly with that, and it has become my new favorite way of wearing the vo vest. So I was able to wear the vest with like an orange undershirt, with a maroon, with black. Like I can pair it with so many different things because it picks out the one particular color that I'm wearing it with, and it looks very heavily leaning towards that color. Like I think I need to buy like a movie purple undershirt maybe, and that would be so nice with the vo vest as well. Anyway, I'm going off on a vo vest tangent, but the point is that I can pick out a lot of these colors individually, and then I should be able to wear this with so many things, and I love it. It is so beautiful. um It has the orange, this cocoa color that is, it's called cocoa, but it's like this rusty, it's not even rust, it's kind of a moody orange. It is my favorite shade in this Jameson's, I forget, I think it's Spindrift. Shetland Spindrift. Yeah, that's the yarn I've been using, and I am so close. I think I'm like, I want to say I'm 40 rows away, but like 40 rows of decreasing rows, so they don't take up as much time. But I'm 40 rows away from finishing it, and then I have to steek and then do like the button bands and everything. I was being very optimistic on how much time this is gonna take me. Also because I couldn't take it with me. I did 2 trips already, so all week long I was gone and I was only home for the weekends. And so it's not enough time for me to finish knitting this, unfortunately. So I did miss the test deadline, but Gudrun's been very nice, and she and anyway, the book is, this is part of a book, and so she has a series of vest patterns in that book, I believe, and it's coming out I think in August. So there's some time before you'll see me like modeling this, because I can show you like the project, but I'm not supposed to show you like a finished outfit. So this is probably, I might mention it again saying I finished it, but then you won't see me wear it until August. I am so happy with this. Like I cannot explain how beautiful this project is turning out to be, and how happy I am with the color choices that I have made. Last episode or the one before that, I talk about how I picked the colors. At least I think I did. I might have. I can't remember. So since I've been on this Colorwork kick, I have another Colorwork sweater planned in very similar colors actually, but I want this pink to shine in that project. I am obsessed with this rose pink as well. And I want the pink to shine, so I'm making it in the main color being pink. And I have like the red, I have a green, I have the same warm yellow, mustard. So I'm super excited, and I feel like using a similar color palette but like different, like highlighting a different color, because a different color is the main color. It still keeps my wardrobe cohesive, but then gives like other options, and I should be able to pair it with the same like bottoms and t-shirts and things like that. So this is a Farrell vest by Gudrun Johnston, and I am thoroughly obsessed with it. I will say that I was supposed to change. So in this motif at the bottom, the orange is the background color, and then I was supposed to change the background color the next time this motif happens, and it says so in the pattern, but I forgot. And I left it like that. But I don't think it looks bad. It might look a little different from other people's and the effect it gives, because it gives a different effect when people fade. Firstly, I've not faded between the orange and the pink. Like I've picked very starkly different colors, and then I've kept the same background color, so it's not giving the same flow that Gudrun's version has, but I'm still thoroughly, deeply in love with this. So yeah, that is my test knit, and I'm pretty close to finishing it. I think it's still a couple weeks out because next week I am traveling again. It's a very busy period at work, but somehow my brain is managing to do all of these things while being busy. I think I'm not thinking of, oh my god, it's color work. I'm just thinking of, let's just do 5 rounds and that's it, and I can switch to a stockinette project if I don't have the mental space for it. But it's been amazing. I'm obsessed with it, and I have so many colorwork things planned. I feel like it's just unlocked some sort of a thing in my head. Anyway, I will constantly wax poetic about it. I should really stop. Oops. We had a missing yarn ball situation. So basically, because the colors change so much, I can't travel with this project because like this is the bag I have it in. By the way, this is just a bag you get like your bedding stuff in, like a comforter and a bedding. So I've just been using it as my project bag, and I really can't travel with this because it's so bulky and fluffy. It doesn't have a lot of weight, but it does occupy space. So that was that. And then because I was traveling so much, I needed a project that I could take with me for airport, plane, and hotel room knitting. And as you all know, Mel of Mel Makes Stuff is making videos again. Yay! So I was watching, me being the obsessed with Mel person, went back and watched all of her videos. And in one of the videos, I think she was also in a busy phase of work, and she cast on the What the Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. And I was watching that video, and I had been itching to cast on a shawl, and I got really excited at the idea of a yarn guzzler because the What the Fade shawl is like huge and it needs 6 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and I got like obsessed with casting it on, and also super excited by the idea of finishing or using up 6 skeins of random fingering weight yarns in my stash. So it was a couple of days of me figuring out what colors I wanted to go with. I had pulled out all this fingering weight yarn out of my stash, and then I was looking at it and I was trying to put together a palette, and I did manage to settle on something. And I am in the middle of a row, but we're going to ignore that. It is beautiful. I am doing the brioche section. I will say that since I have only knit on this when I was on the trip. So I went on 2 trips already, and that's when I basically knit on it. And I'm going again next week, so it's going to get work done next week. But I have not touched it since I've come home because I've focused more on my sweater and other projects because I was not taking them on the trips. It's been a whole thing. I am obsessed with this as well. I think I'm gonna say obsessed a lot this video. Let's try and not do that. Okay. This is the other side because you have 6 colors. You basically do 2-color brioche for the first section, and then you have a huge garter section where you fade from one color to the next. So this is where I am. I'm very close to finishing the brioche section, and then I have to start the garter section. So let's just look at the colors really quickly. And I have a picture that I took of the colors in the sequence that I want them to be in. Right now, I don't remember the sequence. Whoops. Okay, that's, how many are these? 4. 5 and 6. I will not be able to hold these 6 colors up together. Oh my god. If you heard my stomach growl, ignore that. Maybe I should take a video of these. Just really quickly. This is, it's the merino linen blend that I cannot remember. Sonder yarn has this base. So this one and the mint are both the same Sonder yarn fingering. This is a Cascade Merino Silk. This is Perennial by Calborn Woolens. Is it? Something. I have to put it on the screen. This is a pigment and ply colorway. And this is by Camilla of Camijo Net Yarn. And they're all like some sort of fingering yarn. I'm going to take a picture of all of them together, but this is what I'm going to use for my What the Fade shawl. Can you tell that I'm in a very weird mood today? I did end up using some of this yarn for the brioche section because I couldn't decide on, like I couldn't find a sixth color that I liked, and I did use this for the brioche. But now when I do the garter, I'm gonna swap it out for this because I feel like it sat better with the color palette. I do not want to go back and rip it out. Obviously it's a shawl, like it doesn't matter like if I have 7 instead of 6 colors, but this is what I used here. But this, I'm not going to use this for the garter section because I think that other moody purple is so much better. Yeah, and I'm leaving on my trip on Monday. Today is a Saturday. I should know the date, but I currently do not. Maybe the 28th of March. Yeah. So I'm gonna take this project back with me on the trip, and I think I'm gonna get a bunch done because this will be the only thing I'll work on from Monday through Friday. This is a beautiful bag that Selma of Little Big Knits made for me and Mel the last time we met. Currently, Knit City Toronto is happening this weekend, and I am missing Mel and Selma because we've been to a couple of Knit Cities together and had such a wonderful time. I was not able to go this time. So anyway, so I really love using this bag that Salma made for me as my travel project bag because it is very lightweight and it like just completely condenses into my backpack and holds a pretty big project in it. So that's that. So that was my second work in progress. That makes sense. And then I have another sweater I have been working on, and this is a gift for my college professor. I have knit him a vest in the past, and I have been wanting to make him a cable sweater. He really likes cable sweaters, and I guess the story is that his mom used to knit him a lot of sweaters, but his mom is unable to knit him sweaters anymore, and so I thought he would really enjoy a hand-knit cabled sweater. So I am knitting the Dornie sweater. This is a design by Rebecca Clow, who is Kriya Bea. And I knit this before for Baljeet, and I'm going to put a picture of the sweater I knit for Baljeet. And this I'm knitting in Dirarum Natura Gilead, which is also the yarn I used when I knit this for Baljeet. So this is the second time I'm knitting the pattern in the same yarn, but just a different colorway. I love Dirarum Natura Gilead. It is one of my favorite worsted weight cable, specifically cable yarns. I have knit a Colorwork sweater in it, but I feel I waste this yarn on stockinette, you know. It's not a thing, you can do whatever, but I do feel like it is such a nice cable worthy yarn that every time I want to buy it, I always think of, can I use it for a cabled garment? And I have a really pretty pink in this yarn for myself, because though I have knit this yarn for cables, I don't think I've made myself a cable sweater in it. No, I did like a half fisherman's rib for me, and then I did a Colorwork for me, cables for Baljeet. But since I did the cables for Baljeet, I've been obsessed with this yarn and cables. So now I have a pink colorway in a lot of it. So I'm going to make a heavily cabled garment for myself, but I have not decided what it's going to be. Oh, actually, I'm also knitting the Dagmar cardigan, or I was knitting the Dagmar cardigan last year. And that is also in Gilead in a really nice blue. I need to finish that cardigan. My friend Kathy and I have been, hi Kathy, we've been talking about knitting or finishing the Dagmar, because I think I need to pick it back up. I don't know, Kathy, if you cast on the sweater or not. Maybe you're planning to cast on. But anyway, I do have it in my head somewhere. It will happen and surface soon enough. I have the project sitting in a basket in my office right here, so it's always in my line of sight. I feel like when I want to bring things back up and I've been ignoring them for a while, I need to keep them somewhere I pass by them constantly so that I can see it and then give myself some motivation, inspiration to give them attention again. So anyway, I went off on a Gilead tangent. I am knitting the Dornie sweater. I'm knitting the size 42 inches, but my professor is pretty tall, so this is going to be a very big sweater. It's just not going to be very wide. One of the things I've noticed with having knit this for Baljeet before is because it's a unisex pattern, I do feel like men, when I knit it for Baljeet, and also this might be a specific to Baljeet thing because he goes to the gym a bunch and his shoulders have become pretty big. So the sweater has become a little shorter in the back because it just rides up on his shoulders. But I also feel like because it's a unisex pattern, if I were to knit it for a guy, I should make a little modification in the back so that the back is wider than the front. And when you're doing a raglan, technically your front stitches and your back stitches are always the same. And you can do the thing what you do with yoked sweaters, like, you know, people who sometimes knit yoke sweaters move the location of your sleeve to be a bit in the back, like you shift the location of the sleeves to the back a little bit to give more room in the front. People do that. But with a raglan, because you're fixed with your shoulder width and your back and front, you can't really do that. So the only way to add extra width or length in the back is to either, for length, you can do short rows, which the pattern has. And you can see there's like short rows here, which is why the back is higher than the front. But then unless you purposely add more stitches in the back, you don't have extra width in the back. So anyway, all of this tangent to say I needed a way to add extra stitches in the back, just, you know, to give some room for the shoulders. Though my professor's not very bulky or anything, he's tall and lanky, but I still felt like for a guy, I think I should do that. So what I have done is, you have these columns of knits and pearls. This is a very terrible, it's a beautiful color, but it's a terrible color to show you anything because it's so dark and moody. But anyway, you have these columns of knits and pearls between the cables, and I don't think I'm giving away anything worth someone copying this because it's a much more involved pattern than anything. But basically you have like a column of, you sometimes have a column of 2 pearls between the 2 knits. Like this is a column which has 2 pearls in between these. So what I did was, and you can kind of see, is here I've made this a 3 pearl column. So somewhere down the back, I've added a pearl stitch in this column, and I've done that at multiple locations. So I've basically added a few stitches in the back to give some extra width. And then my goal is that once I split for sleeves, I've not split for sleeves yet, and knit like an inch, I'm gonna close that back down. So it's almost like a dart I've created in the back by just adding a pearl stitch at those column places. So it doesn't mess with the pattern. It doesn't, you won't be able to see it unless you're like staring into his back. And it doesn't look bad, right? Like you've just added a stitch where, you know, I could even add more, but because if I was making this again for Baljeet or someone with like very broad shoulders, I would probably add more stitches or manipulate the columns a bit more. But because I don't think I need that for Professor, so I'm not gonna do that. I've added like 4 or 5 stitches across the back to give some more room, and I'm also going to, and I'm also adding stitches at the end now that the pattern is fairly straightforward. So once you get the hang of it, once you follow the chart, you should be able to make modifications pretty easily, and it's not gonna, like, break your brain or anything. So I have added stitches at the end of the raglan as well in the back, more than I have in the front, and I'm also adding some length to the yoke. So these are modifications I'm making on the go and not taking any notes, as I should not be doing, but that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'll put some notes in my Ravelry at the end of it. But I'm adding length to the yoke, so without adding increases, because Professor is also super tall, so I feel like his yoke depth might need some more room. I plan to do a double folded collar over here, and I feel like when I do that, it gives some extra, it gives a substantial length to the collar itself. Because on Baljeet's, that's what I did. I did a double folded collar, and I also put like a thin elastic band through the double folded collar to hold it in place. That has worked wonderfully. His sweater has held up quite well. Now that I'm talking all of this about it, maybe I should just quickly show you the sweater as well, because I have it here. I should just like bring it. Let's just pretend I had my act together and showed you this in the beginning of the entire spiel of the Dornie sweater. This is Baljeet's sweater. And this is the neck I'm mentioning, and it has an elastic through it, stretchy, but holds the shape of the neck really well. Also, testament to the yarn, once again, I made the sweater for him at least 2 winters ago. He wears it at least twice a week in the winter, from December through February, twice a week. So say, I don't know, 24, 25 times each year, and it's held up beautifully. This yarn is amazing. That's what I mean about it. Like, you can't even see a single pill. And when I was talking about his back raising, I don't think you can see it very well when I'm just holding it up, but the back has curved slightly, which you can see, but if he's wearing it, you can see it very clearly, enough that his shirt sticks out in the back a little bit. And I find it very odd, but he doesn't care. He says he can't see it, so because it's in the back, so he doesn't care. So I feel bad. I want to actually at some point try, like, I keep wondering if I should like cut it and add some short rows there, but the sweater is so nice and kind of precious to him. I don't think he'll let me do that. But this is Baljeet's Dornie sweater, and I wanted to show you the neckband, which has held up really well, by the way. And you can see, like, it doesn't look droopy at all, and it like, this is one of the proudest necks I'm proudest of this neck I've made. And I had tagged it down, like I knit a double long thing, tagged it down, and then because the yarn is so open, like, I just stretched it a little bit, inserted the elastic in, sewed the other end, and then just fit it in. Like, I think Rebecca mentioned that she does that because it's not like a dense fabric. You can insert like a thin piece of elastic very easily through the stitches themselves. Otherwise you would have to encase the elastic and then tack it down, but for this yarn I didn't have to do that. So yeah, so that's the Dornie. That's how the sweater is going to look. If you've not seen the Dornie before, it is a beautiful pattern. Clearly I'm very happy with it. So, and that's what I'm doing. And obviously I also just mentioned all the modifications. This color is called Baleine Blue, something like that. That one, I can't remember what the color is, to be honest. I might have to put it on the screen, but I will link my Ravelry. I always link my Ravelry project pages, by the way, if you didn't know that already. So if you go down in the description box, you should be able to find the link to Baljeet's Dornie sweater, and that has the color. It's a nice color, but on the screen, I think this is the right shade-ish. Because when I bring it closer, I think it becomes darker. Yep. Yeah, so that's another work in progress. I'm just gonna leave that here. And I have another work in progress. This is more of a long-term, will happen slowly kind of a situation. Along with all of this travel, naturally, I fell sick. So last week, I was home sick. I still had to work because I could not afford to take time off. But I was homesick and I was not traveling, like going into work. So I was able to spend some time knitting during certain meetings, or like if I don't have to talk during the meeting, I can sometimes knit a few rows. But mostly in the evenings is when I end up knitting. I am knitting another half and half triangle wrap. And this time I'm knitting it in DK yarn. It's not DK yarn, it's the same linen quill, Pearl Soho linen quill held double. I have a bunch of linen quill in my stash and I couldn't find a better thing to do with it. I wanted to knit maybe a garment, but the way I have two half and half wraps already that I use as blankets on the couch, and though they've become soft and they're not prickly anymore because the linen sometimes can be prickly, they've not worn like I would want garments to wear. But that's unfair because they're blankets, the cats sit on them, so they get a lot of rough use. But anyway, I decided that I really like the cats, and Baljeet and me, we really enjoy the half and half wraps on the couch. So I thought that I should just make one in DK. So I'm using up my stash yarn. So I'm doing whatever my heart desires. Like I'm not following like there's no fixed pattern. I'm just mixing colors. You'll see the other side will be even crazier because it will have a lot of small leftover linen quills just held together. So it's not going to be cohesive or anything. But what I did was I used the same stitch count, but I held linen quill double, and I think I'm knitting this with US 7 needles, which is 4.5 millimeters. So I just decided that I'll make a DK version of it. I think on that side you can't see the striping, but on this side you can see the striping very well. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I have taken this to the movie theater as well, because sometimes when I watch movies that I know I'm gonna, I can't sit anymore without my hands moving. So the movie has to be very engaging for me to not knit through it, or it has to be a different language that I'm having to read subtitles. So anyway, I'm knitting on another half and half wrap, and I'm not talking too much about it because everyone already knows about the half and half wrap. And Pearl Soho linen quill as well. I don't know that I have enough to finish the entire thing. I'm gonna try and use up every single color. I also have a lot of mini skeins of linen quill because one holiday or Christmas season, a bunch of us had done like Advent swap. So we had put together an Advent using our own stash yarn and exchanged it with, and it was a group of us podcasters that did that. So Anastasia from Freer Sheep sent me a bunch of linen quill in that Advent. And since I received that from her, I had always thought of adding them as contrast stripes in a half and half wrap. And it's been sitting in my stash for 3 years now, and finally it's going to happen. Once I finish this, I think this first triangle, I'm just going to do this pink, orange, and green theme, and the other side is just going to be insanity. So I'm going to use up a lot of the little minis that Anastasia sent me, and then I also have leftovers from the other half and half wraps that I have knit in the past. All right, I think I spoke a lot about all my works in progress. I do not have any other works in progress. I know I have abandoned one of my alpaca cardigans that I was talking about, but I think I'm gonna pick it up maybe later. Need to figure out when that happens. I also have another fun update. So, and this kind of blends into my what I plan to knit on next. What am I casting on soon? So this year, work is busy, all of that's fine, but I have been missing going to like a knitting event. I might show up to Rhinebeck this year, but again, Rhinebeck has become more of a hangout with friends rather than for yarn or anything else. So I'm trying to see if there'll be other people or any of my friends going to Rhinebeck. So I was trying to figure out what to do. I was missing being on a knitting type trip. And then I got this idea in my head that maybe I should go do a retreat. I see such beautiful retreat options like internationally, but currently I'm unable to go international. I was trying to find something in the US, and there's a lot of options in the US that I could participate in. So I was looking at retreat options, and while I was doing all this research and trying to find a good place to look up all retreat options in the US, Bare Naked Wools, Anne Hansen and her team announced that their summer retreat is happening in June. And it's happening at a farm in Ohio and happens to be under 3 hours drive for me. So naturally, I jumped at it and signed up. I'm excited because I wonder, like, I'm curious how it'll be. They have like stay and classes. It's like a Thursday to Sunday, everything included. And then classes with Anne Hansen. There's going to be like a seaming class, finishing and seaming. There's going to be a wool related, like different breeds of wool and something of that sort. I had read all this, but I can't remember details right now. And then there's going to be also a surprise project class. I think those are the three things I remember. They all sounded pretty interesting to me, and especially like the seam finishing and everything, and also the wool breed specific class. And then there's obviously like this beautiful farm that it's going to be at, and it just looked super lovely. It was an investment. I will not say that it's super cheap or anything. It was expensive, but I don't have any big trips planned this year. And so I thought I'm going to treat myself, as if I don't constantly every single day. But I'm going on this retreat in the summer. So I'm super excited. I've always admired Anne Hansen's designs, but never actually knit one of them. I have knit with Bare Naked Wools. Their yarn is stunning. It is also expensive, but it is very, very beautiful. And the few things that I have made with the yarn that I have held up really well. I do have more yarn left. I want to make a vest of some sort in like this beautiful cream I have in the Better Breakfast DK, I think. But anyway, I wanted to knit something made or designed by Anne Hansen that I can wear to the retreat. Of course, like why wouldn't I? And I went on this journey of looking through all of her patterns, trying to figure out what would be appropriate for June. And what I have decided on, and let me show this to you. What I have decided on is called the black Oak Cardigan. And let me just show you that. That's what it looks like. It's a lace or texture body, and you can make like a full sleeves version. There's also a short sleeve version, and I think this will be so beautiful if I made it in like a summer yarn. And I like the idea of a short sleeve cardigan that I can just keep buttoned up and probably wear it like a pullover. But if I want to wear it as a cardigan, I can do that as well and have like some layering underneath. So I feel like it'll be good summer and also shoulder season worthy like garment. And I've seen this a bunch like in the past, but I think this is the first time because I have like a concrete plan and everything, and it has multiple options. Like this is a different neck situation happening here. I really like it. It's very pretty, but I think I'm gonna make this like round neck-ish version with the buttons and the short sleeves. This is exactly the version I want. And so I went into my stash trying to figure out yarn, and I picked this beautiful Sadness Gun Lena. I think the gauge is 22 stitches. I have definitely got 22 or 21 stitch gauge with this yarn. In the past, I've knitted with US 3 needles, and I think that's what I'm going to do. And this is a beautiful, like a soft movie purple-ish. It has blues under, like leans a little blue in certain lights maybe. Sorry. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to cast on. But I'm going to wait until the next weekend because I want to see if I can finish the vest. I don't think I'll finish the Colorwork vest in 1 week because I'm leaving for Chicago. But I want to make some progress on it, at least get past the steeking stage, and then I just have ribbing to do on the armhole and the neck bands, and then I can cast on another project. So that is my immediate cast on that's going to happen. So I talked about the Ronsley already, which is the Colorwork thing. Oh, yes. The other thing I got obsessed with, and this is, now I'm just moving on. I finished talking about the retreat, by the way. Now I'm moving on to plans. Of course, I'm one of those people who gets completely, I think we all are, like we see all these new and shiny patterns on Instagram and then get like into it. And I saw this Sadness Gun pattern that has been showing up on the internet everywhere. I think it's a very traditional Norwegian pattern. It's called the Oak Cardigan by Sadness Gun. And it's knit in Peer Gynt in 2 colors. I've seen that pattern before, like it's a very traditional Norwegian. It's called something, I forget what it's called. And then it has those pretty little lice stitches as well, Colorwork. And I really like this. I just like the vibe of it. So I bought Peer Gynt for it. I should not have bought yarn. I'm sure I have something in stash. But I bought Peer Gynt for it, and I'm going to knit it in a red and cream. I could not get that red and cream Colorwork 2-color cardigan for winter out of my head. So I bought it. I bought a kit because I think the pattern usually in most shops is being sold as a kit with the Peer Gynt, which is typical of Sadness Gun patterns. You can buy it at the Woolly Thistle, and you can also buy it at Mother Knitter, and there's a few other stores that are stocking this pattern. It has shown up recently in my algorithm, so I don't know if it's like a new re-release of older pattern by Sadness Gun. So this is one of the things that I do want to make at some point this year. And then the other plan I have is I've always wanted to knit Marie Wallen's Yell cardigan, and I've just never I don't know why I haven't knitted already. I have always just looked at it, admired it, and then not done anything with it. And lately it's been showing up in my feed everywhere as well, so I feel like I need to revisit that idea. And my big plan is I have 2 cones that I bought of Jamieson's 2-ply jumper weight yarn, and it's like a black and a gray color. And typically I'm not like into super neutral stuff, but I like the Yell cardigan because you can, and you know why I've revisited this is because I rewatched Mel's videos. I think that's what's happened, because I watched her Yell cardigan as well. And then I was watching Root of the Tree, and Sarah has also recently, I think, finished her Yell cardigan, and she was showing the steeking and everything in one of her videos, if I remember correctly. So all of this Yell cardigan being shown to me in my feed again, or me seeking it out kind of invigorated me to look into making one for myself. So anyway, my plan is that all of this Fair Isle knitting that I'm currently doing and that I'm going to do, I have bought a bunch of yarn, and you don't usually end up using all the balls completely to do the color work. So I'll have a bunch of the colors left. So I'm going to put together all the colors that are left and combine them with the black and the gray and make the yell, because the yell has like for the top portion of the cardigan you're just knitting in two colors, and then the bottom motif has a bunch of different colors, so I can combine the black and gray and have like colorful bottom band. So that is my one big plan. Some of these projects, I was thinking if I should do like project diary type videos and just take you through the journey. I'm just not very disciplined with my video making to do like a project diary type video. Like, I sit in the dark and I knit. I'm knitting after work. My house is not as clean as it should be. I'm wearing stupid clothes and looking kind of raggedy. So the thought of like getting dressed up and not that I have to get dressed up, but like, the lighting has to be good and all of that. It always puts me off making such videos. And so I need to maybe get into some sort of a routine of how do I plan and execute these videos, but we'll see if it happens. Otherwise, I'll just come here and yap away and show you what I've done. So those are the few projects in mind. I know they're not very summary projects. I'm still talking about color work and everything, but it's still kind of chilly and my brain has not fully shifted to linen yet. The one thing I will say is that I have this beautiful bright green chartreusey 100% linen yarn. I think it's like Kalinga linen or something like that. And recently I saw Leanne of who's the Knitty Stew on YouTube and Instagram. Leanne made a linen cardigan and she made it in like a tomatoey red, like a red, but not very saturated, like little peachy red almost. I don't know what that color was, but it looks beautiful. She looks so good in it, and the cardigan looks so flowy and beautiful. And I've always wanted a linen cardigan, though I'm knitting the Black Oak and Hanson's cardigan. It's not like a flowy one. It's still going to be like a button up and kind of cute little top sort of a thing. But I want like one of those sits on your shoulders, no front closure, just like open cardigans. So I have been wanting to make one of those for a while in linen. So I think I might do that this year. I still haven't decided on a pattern. I might just steal Leanne's idea and make the same pattern she made. I don't even remember what pattern she made. So maybe I'll put a picture of her cardigan. So those are all my knitting shenanigans. I just have one sewing project that I want to share with you. I did end up making two things. I made another Jenna shirt for my friend and I gifted it to her, and it's a white classic. The assignment my friend gave me is she wanted a classic white shirt that is not see-through and she doesn't have to layer stuff underneath it. So I bought this mid-weight poplin from Style Maker Fabrics and I made her a white Jenna, and it is beautiful. And since I made her that white Jenna, I've been wanting a white Jenna, so it might happen sometime in my future. But the other project that I sewed is I made myself another pair of Frank jeans by Closet Core. I've made my first pair of Frank jeans, which I probably shared in the past, was like a black mid-wash denim. And this time I wanted a mid-blue classic jeans. And I did stop stitching and everything. So let me grab that for you. So I ended up making myself a classic pair of jeans. I am obsessed with this, like the little bar tag situation and the crotch and everything, and then again bar tag here. and I actually hand sewed a buttonhole. My first time hand sewing, and I will be fully honest with you. This is my first buttonhole, and I made it directly on the jeans. I did not practice at all. I watched a video, which is a beautiful video, and I'm gonna put that link in the description. The video I followed to figure out a buttonhole, and I watched it like 5 times, and it just gave me the confidence of making my buttonhole on the jeans directly. It's kind of a downside of being brave with my crafting is I'm also impulsive and do stupid things like that. But I was prepared to deal with the consequences. I don't know what I would have done, but it would have just been a crappy looking buttonhole. It is messy. I'm not gonna say that it's like a perfect buttonhole or something, but I think it's fine. No one's gonna know that. I won't show you the back though. Should I show you the back? It's not bad. I think it's just like it's not bad. I don't think so. I hand sewed my buttonhole. The finishing on the outside of these jeans, I would say, is pretty decent. But the finishing on the inside is also not terrible. Like, I have a floral pocket and everything. But around the crotch, like, I feel like I can do better. I'm showing you all the crazy bits of it. I think I'm getting to that stage with my sewing where I want the inside to look as nice as the outside, and sometimes the serging is not what I want to do. And so I think I'm gonna do a piping next time. I'll see. I might be crazy enough. But my favorite thing about these jeans is this tag. Sorry if it's like, I hope you're not watching this video at work. Why would you? But not safe for work. I love the tag. It's one of this tag series by Kylie and the Machine, and I've been watching a bunch of sewing podcasters or vloggers on YouTube, and so I found out that they have this really cute tags, like 12, like a pack of 12 tags that I ended up buying from Kylie and the Machine, and I'm so pleased because I always forget to put tags on my own clothes. Like, I don't have a tag on this, but also I'm like sensitive, so I didn't want a tag to like poke me on my neck. But lately I feel like the tags are very nice and you can't really feel them or anything. So anyway, that being said, I'm super happy with the jeans. They look pretty classic. The only thing I didn't do was the rivets. I don't think I'm gonna put rivets or anything. I took a picture of these jeans with my vo vest and the orange top, and I feel like it's such a beautiful outfit that I'm like super excited about, that I made the vest, I made the jeans, and it looks cute and very spring. So I was very happy. This is the high-waisted straight leg version. I'm telling you everything except the actual details. High-waisted straight leg version. In the past, I made the high-waisted wide leg version. I did the same things I did with the other version. I made a size 20 at the hips, graded it to 18 at the waist. And then I also used the rise of the size 18 in the front and rise of size 20 in the back. And I added a full butt adjustment and added like 1/2 inch on the pattern, doing like you know how you cut on the hip line and then you basically add a wedge in the back curve. So your curve is longer than your like what it started with, and you hinge at the side leg basically. The other thing I did is I always have a gaping waistband problem, and I recently found out that I'm supposed to curve my waistband even more if I have a gaping waistband. I did not try this on this version. I was a little nervous about it. So what I ended up doing is the seam allowance is 5/8. So when I was sewing this waistband, I started at 5/8 at the bottom. Like you have, this waistband is like multi-pieced, like this is a piece and then there's a seam in the back here which is not hidden, like you can see the seam here. So it's two pieces joined together. So when I was joining the two pieces of the waistband, I started with a 5/8 allowance, but then I moved it into like a 1-inch allowance. So I sort of adjusted the joining of the two pieces of waistband a little bit, so the top of the waistband is a bit shorter than the bottom, even more than it is already, because it's a curved waistband situation to begin with. All of this to say, I think the next time, I think that has resolved some of my gaping issues, but it still gapes a little bit. I'm okay with that, because as the jeans get loose and everything, they'll become a bit more comfortable, and then I'll wear it with a belt if I have to. On my previous version, I put like an elastic in the back, and I didn't want to put an elastic in the back. And this one, I wanted it to be a very traditional jeans. So I didn't do that, but that's why I added the button loops so I can wear it with the belt. I am very proud of this make. It turned out really beautifully. There are some finishing details that I would like to be better at, but I think all in all, it looks pretty good. And the Frank jeans fit me really well with all the modifications that I've made. I do want to make another pair, but I think I'll go back to making a wide leg version. The straight leg is nice, but it will be nice only for, on me, I feel it's only nice if I make it in like a traditional blue or a jeans blue. Otherwise, if I want to make it out of like a bull denim or some sort of a twill to wear to work, I think I'll make the wide leg version, because I think that's a more flattering shape on me, maybe. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking. This is a very, very beautiful Japanese denim from Stonemountain Daughter Fabrics. It was expensive, but I was comfortable making this pair of jeans again because I had already made a version which was supposed to be my wearable mock, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. Like, I think yoked trouser patterns fit me the best. Yeah, so all in all, it was like a fun project, and I really enjoy the whole engineering of or making of trousers actually and you can break it up into sections. Like one day you do the pocket situation, one day you do like the zipper fly situation, another day you assemble the whole thing, and then the waistband. So I feel like I break it up into 4 sessions and spread it out over a week, and at the end of the week, you have a beautiful pair of jeans. Yep, that is all the sewing I want to talk about. It was a fun project, but with all the travel and then me being sick, I did not get a lot other stuff done. But I think that's good enough. I've been knitting a lot, and I sewed a shirt and a pair of jeans. I think that's a successful month. All right. Thank you so much for putting up with all of my crazy today. I feel like I was in a very weird mood today. But I enjoyed coming and giving you this update, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me know in the comments what you're working on, what you thought, anything else you want to share with me. And I will also say that last episode I did a giveaway and I announced winners, and they have not yet contacted me. So if they don't contact me even after this video, I'm going to probably do something that I've been thinking about in the past, is people who've been commenting on my videos pretty regularly. Like YouTube shows you who comments the most on your videos. So I might just do that and pick different winners of people I know who are gonna watch. Thank you so much for being regular viewers. And I'm just gonna reassign the gifts to people I know who will be watching. And because I feel like often when in the giveaway videos, you get a lot of viewers, but then they don't carry over to the next few videos, which is fine. Like, and that's how it goes. Because also when people comment a bunch, I think YouTube suggests it to other people, and so more people end up watching, which is also like, kind of a thing of giveaway videos. But then, I fall into this situation before where the winners have not told me or contacted me. So anyway, all of this to say, there might be different winners I pick in the next episode, but I will contact you directly because you already messaged so much, so I should be able to message you back and let you know that I've reassigned the gifts, rightfully so, to you for being so regular in watching my videos. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure there's other reasons people sometimes don't watch videos, and I'm not gonna go into too many details, but of course we're living in kind of dark times, and I'm hoping some of this crafting, podcasting is bringing you joy in its own little way. So thank you so much for sticking with me until the end if you're still here, and until next time, take care. Bye.